we are going to be solving equations with decimals. There's two things that we need to focus on. The first thing is that just like with whole numbers, you're going to always isolate the variable using the inverse or opposite operation. So that's the good news. There's not any new steps for equations with decimals. We're using the same steps that we already know. We just need to remember the decimal operation rules because they still apply. Let's look at an example. If I have 10 is equal to 6.3 plus z. Remember, first I need to isolate the variable by doing the inverse operation. What's the inverse of addition? Subtract. I'm going to subtract 6.3. But I must remember that my decimal operation rules still apply. If I'm subtracting 6.3 on one side, I must also subtract 6.3 on the other side. That cancels out. The only thing left on the right-hand side of the equal sign is my variable. I'm going to rewrite this side because my decimal operation rules still apply. I must line up the decimals when subtracting. So I must say 10.0 minus 6.3. Now I'm ready to subtract. If I have 0, I can't take 3 away. I go to my neighbor. They don't have any to borrow, so I go to the next neighbor. I borrow a 10 here. Now my neighbor has something to borrow from. 0 minus 3, I can now make that 10 a 9, and this becomes a 10. 10 minus 3, 9 minus 6, 0 minus 0. I can add the 0 or leave it. It's not going to change the value, so I'm going to choose to leave it. To finish my answer, I bring the decimal straight down. Z is equal to 3.7. What's the good way to check your work? Substitute the value back into the equation to see if we get 10. If I have 6.3 and I add 3.7, I should get 10. 3 plus 7 is 10. 6 plus 1 is 7. 7 plus 3 is 10. Bring the decimal straight down. It did check out. Let's do another example. Let's choose the variable x over 0.15 is equal to 3. We know that this is showing division, and the inverse of division is multiplication. I need to isolate the variable by multiplying both sides. I need to multiply by 0.15. I need to multiply by 0.15 on the right side. This cancels out. All that's left on this side is x. And I'm going to rewrite this. 0.15 times 3. 5 times 3, 15. 3 times 1, 3, plus 1, and 3 times 0. There are 2 decimal places in my problem. So I'm going to move the decimal 2 places in my answer. X is equal to 0.45.